My brother abandoned my teen daughter 1,200 miles from home to teach her a lesson. So I taught him one by taking him to court, exposing his lies, and making sure he'll never see my family again. If you ever want to see the worst side of me, just abandon my kid. That's exactly what my brother did. And I don't mean forgot her at a store or got lost for a few hours. I mean, he intentionally left my 15-year-old daughter 1,200 miles from home at a random gas station because, according to him, she needed to learn responsibility. So yeah, I've officially gone nuclear. Let me back up. My daughter Ava had been begging to go on a short summer trip with my brother John and his wife because they were driving down to Florida for some family stuff. It was supposed to be a good bonding thing. John's always played this wannabe alpha male role, talks about tough love, like he invented parenting. I was hesitant, but Ava wanted to go, and John promised me he'd treat her like his own. That should have been my first red flag, since the way he's raised his own kids is borderline psychotic. Anyway, they left on a Sunday morning. Everything seemed fine. I texted Ava, she was sending me pictures from the car, random roadside stuff, snacks, whatever. By Tuesday night, I get a weird one-word text from her. Help! I thought maybe it was a joke. Then nothing. No follow-up, no call. I tried calling her straight to voicemail. I called John, also straight to voicemail. Tried his wife, same thing. It was like everyone decided to disappear. 3 hours later, I get a call from an unknown number. It's Ava, crying, using a payphone. I didn't even know payphones still existed. She tells me John left her at a gas station in the middle of nowhere in Georgia. He told her she could figure it out and call home when she learned to stop being spoiled. She had $40 in her wallet and a dying phone. I can't even explain what that did to me in that moment. Shock doesn't cover it. I went from confused to homicidal in about 5 seconds. I got her location from the store clerk, booked her a ride to the nearest bus terminal, and drove overnight to get her. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I didn't even turn the music on. I just drove, white-knuckled the entire way, thinking about all the ways I could make my brother's life collapse. When I got there, she was sitting in the corner of the bus terminal, wrapped in her hoodie, clutching her bag like a stray cat. She didn't even talk at first. I asked her what happened, and she just said, "He said I was disrespectful." That's it. Turns out she had argued with him about him yelling at a waitress, and he decided she needed discipline. So he dropped her off and left. Here's where it gets worse. He didn't just leave her, he blocked her. Her number, mine, my wife's, everything. This man planned this. He wasn't angry in the moment. He thought this through. I've already talked to an attorney. I'm filing charges: child endangerment, emotional abuse, reckless, whatever they can stack. I'm going after his job too. He works for a company that deals with logistics and child safety contracts. Let's see how they like knowing one of their senior managers dumped a teenager in another state because she bruised his masculinity. And no, I'm not keeping this in the family. Screw that. I've spent years watching John act like some authority figure. He's the kind of guy who talks about being a man and respect, but has never once respected anyone in his life. He's humiliated people at family gatherings, talked down to our parents, bragged about fixing other people's kids. I'm done letting him get away with it. Sorry if this was long, I really needed to write this somewhere. Update 1. Alright, buckle up. It's been a little over 2 weeks since I posted about my brother abandoning my 15-year-old daughter 1,200 miles from home to teach her a lesson. And since then, I've done exactly what I said I would. Turned that lesson right back on him, but multiplied it by 10. First off, my daughter's fine now. Still shaken up, still not sleeping great, but she's home, in therapy. Me, on the other hand, I've been busy. The last 2 weeks have basically been me turning into a full-time investigator. I'm talking folders, screenshots, timestamps, receipts, the works. John probably thought I'd yell for a few days, make some dramatic Facebook post, and eventually move on. He's known me his whole life and still somehow forgot that I don't do half measures. Let's start with what I found. Ava's messages were already bad enough, but I got copies of the gas station's security footage too. I had to call 3 different managers and send proof I was her father, but I got it. You can literally see John's car pull up, Ava get out, and then him drive off. He doesn't even hesitate. No dramatic exit, no second thoughts. Just drives off like he's dropping off a bag of trash. I don't think I've ever hated someone so efficiently in my life. I've also got the phone records from that night. He blocked her within minutes. That's not a heat-of-the-moment move that's planned. He made sure she couldn't reach anyone, then cut her off. The part that made me lose it, though, was what came after. Apparently, he bragged about it to one of our cousins. Said something like, Sometimes you have to let kids fend for themselves. My cousin, being the spineless fence sitter he's always been, sent me screenshots like he was doing me a favor. I told him not to worry, his name's going to be in my testimony too. Now, some people in the family are trying to play both sides. My aunt texted saying I should forgive and focus on healing. My uncle called me to say I'm blowing it out of proportion. I told him if he thought it was overblown, he could imagine his granddaughter sitting alone at a gas station next to a truck stop bathroom crying her eyes out. Then I hung up. I don't need advice from people who think child abandonment is a family disagreement. Anyway, let's get to the fun part, the part where I start returning fire. My lawyer drafted a demand letter that was chef's kiss, polished, professional, and absolutely lethal. It laid out every single thing John did wrong in cold, clinical language. I'm talking child endangerment, neglect, and emotional abuse. The best part? We CC'd his company's legal department. John works for a firm that contracts with schools for safety and transport logistics. So yeah, I made sure the same people who sign his paychecks now know their family values guy left a 15-year-old at a gas station to fend for herself. I didn't even have to push hard. Word spread through the office faster than wildfire. One of his co-workers who, by the way, I don't even know too well, sent me an email saying HR called him in for questioning. I didn't leak anything illegal. I just sent them the truth with the supporting documents. What they do with it is their problem. His wife Monica tried to reach out to me, saying I was making things worse. I told her she should have thought about that when she sat in the passenger seat while my kid got dumped like luggage. She said she didn't know John was going to do it. I don't care. You don't sit next to someone abandoning a child and then claim innocence. Oh, and since some of you asked last time, yes, I did go to the police. They took the report, and it's now being reviewed by the district attorney's office. It's not some dramatic, he's in cuffs situation yet, but I'm patient. The goal isn't speed, it's permanence. I want this on his record. I want every background check he ever takes for the rest of his life to light up like a Christmas tree. Now, family dinners are basically a Cold War. My parents are trying to stay neutral. Translation? They're terrified of me. They've never seen me this angry, and honestly, I think it freaks them out. My mom cried when I told her I was pressing charges. Since then, half the family has gone radio silent. The other half keeps sending those vague, "we're praying for peace" messages like this is some tragic misunderstanding. Every one of them knows I'm serious now. I didn't just go legal, I went social. You know all those people who used to call John a real man and a pillar of strength? I sent each of them the court filing. Not a rant, not a threat, just the documents, neat and clean. Figured you'd want to see what your role model brother's been up to. I didn't even have to explain it. The paperwork speaks louder than I ever could. And I'm not stopping there. I've got more stuff coming out soon, text logs, voice messages, all the smug nonsense he sent bragging about tough love and raising kids right. I'm collecting it all like trophies. The best part is watching him scramble. Word got back that he's been telling people I'm overreacting. He even tried saying Ava chose to get out of the car, as if that changes anything. Every time he opens his mouth, he makes it worse. It's almost impressive how deep a hole he can dig with that ego of his. Update 2. Alright, so this whole thing finally made it to court, and I meant it when I said I'd turn that courtroom into a stage. 3 months since John decided to play tough guy with a teenager, and I've been preparing like it was a damn sport. I didn't just want justice, I wanted theater. I wanted every smug word he ever said to echo back at him from the record. If I was going to burn bridges, I was making sure they were visible from space. First off, he really thought this wouldn't go far. He showed up to the first hearing like it was some petty family squabble. No lawyer, just his cheap suit and that same self-righteous expression he's worn since we were kids. I almost laughed when I saw him walk in. You could tell he thought the judge was going to see us as two brothers arguing, instead of what it actually was, a grown man endangering a minor. My lawyer didn't even waste time. We started with the footage, the dash cam clip that showed him slowing down at the gas station, my daughter stepping out with her little duffel bag, then the car pulling off like it was nothing. You could hear the audio faintly too, her asking, "Where are we going?" and him saying, "Figure it out." The entire courtroom went dead quiet. John looked like someone had slapped him across the face. Then came the texts. The ones he sent to our cousin about how kids need to learn fear to grow. The cousin, by the way, tried to backpedal when subpoenaed, but too late. Everything was printed, stamped, filed, and entered into evidence. Watching John squirm while his own words were read out loud was better than therapy. He tried to interrupt at one point, claiming I was twisting things. The judge told him to sit down and reminded him that this wasn't a debate, it was an evidentiary hearing. He looked at me after that, eyes full of that same fake confidence he's always used to control everyone. Except this time, no one was backing him up. Not the judge, not even our parents. Because yes, my parents came. My mom cried quietly in the back, and my dad couldn't look at either of us. I didn't care. I wasn't there for family comfort. I was there for public accountability. Then Ava testified. She was nervous as hell, but she got through it. She explained how she thought it was just a normal trip until he pulled off the highway and told her to get out. How she tried to call him, but her number was blocked. How she waited 3 hours in the gas station until someone helped her call me. I didn't say a word. I just sat there and let the silence choke him. John tried to paint it as a misunderstanding. Said he didn't mean to go that far. Said it was symbolic. I almost laughed again. Symbolic? Leaving a 15-year-old at a gas station across the country isn't symbolic, it's psychotic. Then his lawyer, bless his overpaid heart, tried to argue that I was just embarrassing my brother out of spite. I actually smiled at that one because yeah, I was embarrassing him. But it's not slander if it's true, and every single word was backed by proof. My lawyer pointed out the police report, the text history, the GPS data, all of it. And just to make things a little sweeter, we added the civil suit right after the criminal case was heard. Reckless endangerment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and child abandonment. He didn't even see it coming. You could see the color drain from his face when he realized this wasn't going to end with a slap on the wrist. But the best part wasn't even the legal win, it was the humiliation. Every person who used to think John was some perfect, morally upright family man got to see him unravel in real time. His own wife, Monica, sat 2 rows behind me the whole time. You could see her shoulders tense every time something new came out. When the text messages from his cousin got read, she covered her mouth. When the dashcam clip played again, she started crying quietly. I didn't comfort her. I didn't look at her. She made her choice when she defended him the first time. And I didn't just stop there. I made sure to submit an HR-friendly copy of the proceedings to his employer. Nothing illegal, just a clean, factual copy. They sent back one of those canned responses about not commenting on personnel matters. Translation: he's already on thin ice. A few days later, someone from his office, again, not even a close contact of mine, messaged me saying HR called him in for a review. You could almost hear the panic through the grapevine. Then, because I don't believe in loose ends, I filed for civil discovery. And guess what popped up? Financial records. Loans he took under our parents' names. Missing funds from a business deal he'd bragged about at Christmas 2 years ago. Nothing illegal per se, but enough to show that he's been a fraud for years. I didn't release any of that publicly yet, but it's in my possession, and it's on file with my lawyer, insurance for later. By the time the hearing wrapped, John wasn't even trying to act tough anymore. He looked small. I don't mean physically, I mean that pathetic kind of small that comes when someone's finally forced to face their own reflection. He didn't even look at me when we walked out. Good, because if he had, I might have smiled. My dad tried to tell me we could have handled this privately. I told him privacy is what allowed John to act like this for years, hiding behind family loyalty while treating people like props. Monica finally moved out last week. Ava overheard me talking to my lawyer and asked if it was really over. I told her not yet, not until the court puts it in writing. Because I'm not just punishing him, I'm making sure it's permanent. I want him to wake up every day and remember that he messed with the wrong person. Next month's the damages hearing. That's when the money hits the table. I've got witnesses, documentation, and more proof than he can ever crawl out from under. He's already started selling stuff online to cover costs. Good. Let him feel it. Let him taste what helplessness feels like. Update 3. It's been about 8 months since that first court hearing, and I'm not even going to lie, I've enjoyed every second of what followed. I stopped pretending I was doing this out of pain or moral obligation. I wanted John to suffer, not just lose, suffer. The kind of long, exhausting downfall that doesn't end with a single bad day, but with the slow erosion of everything that made him feel untouchable. He called it a misunderstanding. That's what he told everyone after the first hearing. He even tried to spin it online, talking about cancel culture in families, like he was some philosopher, instead of a man who abandoned a teenage girl in another state. So I decided if he wanted attention, he could have it. The civil case ended with the judge reading a damages award big enough to make him choke. He sat there looking at the floor, like maybe if he didn't make eye contact, it wouldn't count. The amount wasn't life-destroying, but it was enough to ruin his comfort. He had to sell his truck, pull from savings, and cash out some retirement fund to cover what insurance didn't, and I made sure he couldn't quietly move on from it. The verdict became a public record, so I ordered certified copies and sent them not anonymously to the right places: his old church, his homeowners association, where he was on some moral committee, a few business contacts he used to brag about at family dinners. I didn't write any message, just attach the papers. Facts only. I figured the silence made it hit harder. When he tried to get work again, HR ran a standard background check, and guess what popped up? A reckless endangerment conviction tied to the same incident. Not my problem. Actions have consequences. He tried freelancing for a while, claimed he was starting his own thing. I didn't stop him. I just reminded a few local vendors about the discovery documents, the part showing how he'd moved money around under our parents' names years ago. Nothing illegal, but enough to make people reconsider trust. He started losing contracts one by one. Then I decided it was time for the family truth meeting. I called it that on purpose, because I knew the phrase alone would make people show up. Everyone thought I was finally calming down, ready to reconcile. I rented a small hall, set up a projector, and told them I was showing what really happened so no one could say they didn't know the truth. It wasn't a shouting match. It was quiet, controlled, and humiliating. I played the dashcam clip. I showed screenshots of the texts. I read parts of the court transcript where the judge told John point blank that his behavior was reckless. Every single person in that room who once told me to let it go had to sit there and face what they defended. John didn't come, of course, but Monica did. She looked hollow by then. She didn't cry, just sat there staring at the screen like she was watching a funeral. Maybe she was. After that, people started dropping him completely. No more family dinners, no more invitations. Even the ones who defended him stopped calling. My dad still tried to stay neutral, but I told him flat-out neutrality is just cowardice with better PR. Then John went online again. He posted some vague Facebook rant about being betrayed by your own blood. I let it sit for 2 days, then posted my own response under it with nothing but court dates, evidence summaries, and the link to the official docket. No commentary, no insults, just the truth. The post blew up among mutuals. He deleted his account within a week. I didn't stop there. I filed for a permanent restraining order, not because he tried anything, but because I wanted it on record. I wanted his name on another official document that says, "Keep your distance." The court granted it easily after everything that came out. I don't want him within reach of my family ever again, legally or physically. Ava's doing better now. She still has her moments trust issues, but she's stronger. I told her what I did wasn't just revenge, it was closure. She laughed when I said that. She knows I enjoyed it. She doesn't even pretend to think I regret it. That's enough for me. The money I got from the civil case went to 2 things: setting up a trust for her and donating a chunk to a child safety charity in John's name. That part was mostly for irony. I even sent him the donation receipt. I don't think he found it funny. Last I heard, he's living in a small apartment in another city, working a low-level job that barely pays rent. Monica filed for divorce 2 months after the verdict. She sent me a short message saying, "You were right." I didn't respond. Final update. So it's been a year since I went nuclear on my brother, and I figured I'd close this out since people keep DMing me asking what happened next. To start off, no, I don't regret a single thing I did. Not one move. Not the lawsuit, not calling his job, not exposing him in front of our family, not watching his entire life fall apart piece by piece. If anything, I wish I had done it sooner. John's little teach her a lesson stunt could have ended a lot worse. My daughter Ava was 15, alone, in a place she didn't know, crying at a gas station. My parents tried the whole "he made a mistake" angle afterward. I told them flat out that if they kept defending him, they'd never see me or Ava again. Haven't heard from them since. Haven't missed them either. John has been bouncing between temp jobs, living with some old friend from high school who probably doesn't even know the full story. Last I heard, his license got suspended because of unpaid fines tied to the case. His credit's trashed. His reputation's gone. There's no coming back from what he did, not just legally, but socially. He burned every bridge and I made sure none of them could be rebuilt. As for me, Ava and the wife were good. Moved cities, started fresh. She's still in therapy. She's doing way better. I don't sugarcoat what happened when she brings it up. I tell her straight. Some people deserve to be cut out completely, even if they share your blood. She knows I'll always have her back, no matter what. Do I think I went overboard? Maybe by most people's standards, yeah. But here's the thing, if someone abandons your kid to teach them a lesson, they deserve whatever comes next. You don't get to gamble with someone's child and then cry victim when karma shows up wearing a suit and carrying legal paperwork. The way I see it, I didn't ruin his life. He did. Now he'll never see Ava again. He'll never show up pretending to be some moral authority. And every time someone Googles his name, that case is the first thing they'll see. That's permanent. That's the kind of justice you can't scrub away. Some people still call me cold for it. I don't really care. I sleep fine. John wanted to teach lessons. Well, so did I. Mine just stuck.